Hello, everybody. The music ended a few seconds earlier. It is Thursday. It's time for Weekly Wedding Prep Live. Welcome to our little hangout together. It is episode 10, so we have done 10 live episodes together, plus two bonus episodes, I guess, where we demoed out Officiantly. This was over the Black Friday, Thursday, and Friday. So many of you came on board. So you're getting your feet wet now. It's been a few weeks. But here we are. And I am thrilled to be heading into the holiday season. I wonder how many of you have Christmas holiday weddings coming up or New Year's Eve weddings. I have done some of those. They are absolutely wonderful and beautiful and so much fun. This is the place to share live any questions, any wins, any challenges, any what about, any I've got a wedding coming up this week. What do you think about this idea? Any of that stuff, that is what we are here for. And that is why we are live, because those of you who are in the chat, you make this what it is. I want to bring a few things to you today. I'm not going to say how many because we might get to them all. We might get to only two. I come prepared with, I'm sorry about the I got to say, I might break out into a coughing fit. My whole family has the plague, the pox, the something. Kids home from school this week. My wife's not well. Tonight was her birthday dinner. We had to cancel. I seem to be kind of holding it together a little bit, but who knows? I could start breaking down right in the middle of our live here. And again, do pardon me if I have some coughs. I am armed with my mug. I'm always holding it, I know, but this week I really might need it. And I forgot what I was saying. I was saying something when I cleared my throat. I want to bring a few things to you today, but I also want to hear your questions. Those are a priority. I do come prepared with things to talk about, things that are intriguing me, questions I have gotten in advance. Got a couple of those. Questions that just members have asked in our members only Facebook group. And if you hear, what is an Unboring Wedding member, Mark? It is anyone who has purchased Unboring Wedding Academy or Pro. Check those out, unboringweddingacademy.com or unboringweddingacademy.com/pro. That's the course that's like a sequel, essentially about the business side of officiating. Let me say hello to the amazing people in the chat. Sarah was here today first and says, hi, everyone. Good to see you, Sarah. And then Jerry from beautiful downtown Electric City, Washington, overcast, breezy, rain or snow on the way. Wow, still rain or snow on the way out there. A true Christmas classic like fruitcake. I don't know if that's a good, may all your weather be like fruitcake. Some people love it. Some people hate it. I'm more bemused by it. If you're wondering where I fall, when you see a Christmas fruitcake, you eat it for the nostalgia. I mean, you think this is not as good as candy cane ice cream, but I guess it comes from a time before that kind of stuff existed. And this was it. This was the peak, the zenith of deliciousness. All that sweet fruit packed into a cake. We just have better stuff now, but it can still be good, which of course is so relevant to weather as well. Sabrina, good to see you. Sunny 63 in San Antonio. Is anybody ready for Christmas? I think I'm ready, and it is a week from tomorrow. And I'm pretty excited. I think I've done a pretty good job. There might be a couple more loose ends to tie up. My wife and I, our tradition, our family, we host a massive kind of open community Christmas Eve party every Christmas. So we go to a candlelight service at 6 o'clock, and then at 7 o'clock we come home, and basically for 3 hours we crank out old fashions. That's kind of my thing. I make old fashions, and you choose whiskey or rum or virgin or whatever. We've got virgin punch going, slush punch. That's a family recipe, and then we just one hors d'oeuvre after another for several hours. It is an amazing family tradition. If you're in the neighborhood, stop by. So we're not ready for that yet. Like next week is prepping for that. But in terms of shopping, Sabrina, I'm feeling pretty good. 65 going up to the 80s in Thousand Oaks, California. Good for you. It is like high 30s Fahrenheit today, and that makes it seem absolutely balmy outside. And tomorrow it's going to be like in the 60s and absolutely pouring. So we have snow on the ground here, uh, but it is all going to be washed away tomorrow, and then we will be singing with Bing Crosby. Crosby? Crosby. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Hopefully, we get some snow back. I'm watching from Ray. Good to see you from Loma Linda, California. It'll be 84 degrees here today. Ray, good to see you. You're not one of the familiar names. I'm never quite sure, as I said before, if someone is just logging in with a different account. But Ray, thrilled that you are here, and love that your picture is actually like you. I think, unless you're catfishing everybody. But Ray, thanks for being here. Please drop in the chat again if you have a question, but also if it's your first time here, if you've got a wedding coming up. I do want to report, I'm not sure if he's here yet, but Mitt, who we were journeying along with in his months of preparation through Unboring Wedding Academy, many excellent questions. He absolutely crushed it over the weekend. The usual result, everybody's saying it's the best ceremony they've ever seen, et cetera, et cetera. You know how it is. And so absolutely thrilled for Mitt. And that is the result. When you join this community, deploy my style, my system, exactly the way that I recommended on your first time. Of course, as you do more and more, you can make it your own. But if you want that guaranteed result, you do what Mitt did. You do what so many of you did. And people will say it's the best ceremony you've ever seen, and then you'll get busy. So you'll if you're good at saying no, if you don't want to do it again, then you got to have good boundaries around saying no, because people are going to watch you officiate and absolutely blow everybody away. So well done, Mitt, if you're here. Terry's here, my hometown where I grew up, first 25 years of my life until I took a plane to Korea. I went to Ottawa U, grew up in Ottawa. Good to see you, Terry. Elaine is here from, there it is, the Isle of Wight, windy, hoping your little granddaughter is not stuck on the mainland if the boats stop running. Happy Christmas. And you're ready for 14 guests for dinner. Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. Man, everybody's gearing up. So good for you, Elaine. I hope your daughter gets back safely. We also are under, because of the weather I mentioned yesterday, we've got lots of ferries here. I live right on the ocean. And tomorrow there's warnings similar to you. Boats are not going to be running. Ferries are not going to be running. Everybody needs to batten down the hatches. The storms like this are kind of so common in this area that there's literally a brand of potato chip, or crisps, as you might say, Elaine, called Storm Chips. It was brilliant marketing by this New Brunswick company. Shout out to Covered Bridge potato chips. Absolutely amazing. And one of their chip flavors, it's literally a flavor, is called Storm Chips. And it's a blend of like barbecue and dill pickle and salt and vinegar. It's like I think they just take all of their like leftovers from broken bags. Don't put this on the record. In Covered Bridge, if you're listening, it seems to me like the chips aren't broken, by the way. You know what? I shouldn't have said anything. They're some of my favorite chips in the world, Storm Chips. And people go crazy here in New Brunswick. Whenever there's a storm, they say, got to go get the Storm Chips. The forecast isn't looking good tomorrow. Got to get my Storm Chips. I wonder if you have anything like that where you're from. Greetings. Good to see you, Anita, from the west side of Tennessee. Wet weather. The temperatures are comparatively mild to other parts of the northern hemisphere. Yeah, but it's crazy mild here too. Like I said, we're going to lose all of our snow tomorrow. So it's a thing right now. Scott, you are here. Good to see you from Bellingham. Happy holidays. I plan to make the announcement, Scott, that you asked, but you can pop it in the chat as well. And I do want to talk today about what your question does raise for anybody who is officiating weddings. And so that's a teaser for stuff coming up. Bill, good to see you from Lake Tahoe with a balmy high of 50 degrees and clear sky. Hello, Jack's here from Michigan. Cold and rainy in North Carolina. Good to see you, Jane. And Ray says, you officiated a wedding last March. Your information was very helpful. I appreciate it. I have a couple other friends officiating weddings soon, and I passed on your information. Thank you so much, Ray. That means a ton to me. You have not officiated since, so what are you shy? What's going on there? Surely you had a blast. You loved it. You crushed it. And I wonder if you plan on officiating again in 2026. Jack says you have a wedding on the 31st, New Year's Eve. That's amazing. That is my wedding anniversary. That's when I got married. My wife and I have our 20th anniversary coming up this month. We got married on New Year's Eve in Korea. It was not strategic. It was literally, it fell on a Saturday in 2005, and we wanted to take a week off. And our school was closed. We both taught at the same English school. It was closed. And for the first week of January. So we just looked at the calendar. Saturday, perfect. Let's get married that day. Oh, that happens to be New Year's Eve. At least we've never forgotten, but it does mean that we usually don't celebrate on New Year's Eve. We don't like go away together. We always do that the next weekend. But New Year's Eve is like friends and family and a party and Auld Lang Syne and all that kind of stuff. So it's a great day to not just get married, but officiate weddings. I have officiated on New Year's Eve, and everyone, it's like it's like you are officiating in the middle of a party. Absolutely love it. Storm chips, we should have them here. Yeah, man. Every part of the world needs their storm chips. Again, New Brunswick, they don't even release them in the summer. They release them only in the winter months. In the summer, they have something similar, and it's called the Weekenders. And so the bag has a bunch of chips baking on like Barca lounges, chairs, reclining in the sun with sunglasses on. And of course, the winter version, the kind of like fall, winter, spring version is, they've got scarves on and umbrellas and stuff like that. Anyway, there you go. This episode today brought to you by, unbeknownst to them, a brand of potato chip. Friends, you heard me mention Scott. Scott would like to put out the call here. He did mention it. And it's so funny, Scott, because you're like, so many people, like I said, my family aren't feeling well. I just had a coughing fit, and sometimes I wonder how far I'm going to get through the live today. Throughout this week, multiple people I know have gotten sick. In fact, I'm listening to podcasts where the hosts are getting sick. And Scott mentioned, Scott said, this makes me think about the fact that when I officiate, I really should have a backup officiant just in case I get sick. So I wanted to spend some time today on that phenomenon, that reality that happens, that yes, we officiants, when we professionally officiate, take money from somebody, and have in our contract certain stipulations as to what happens if we can't officiate the wedding. And hopefully you do that. We've written a contract live here. I have a blog post about writing a contract, but again, we've done it with ChatGPT, and I feel like we're often talking about that on this live together. Different ways to tweak our contracts, make sure they are airtight, and you don't want it to be absolutely overtly long, just oppressively long with every little contingency. But as things happen, to add things and build out your contract. One person told me, like, a contract or an organization's constitution or whatever, basically it's a long laundry list of all the bad things that have happened to them. Because every time something happens and you're like, oh my gosh, I learned from that, I don't want that to happen, you add a new clause, you add a new item to the constitution, to the contract, that kind of thing. I really thought that I would do better today with the coughing and stuff, because I haven't been coughing. It's not a thing, but I also haven't been talking like this nonstop for 15 minutes. So hopefully, hopefully this doesn't become too annoying for you, and hopefully I don't have to bail on you like this right before the holidays, because I do want to share some things with you, and I do want to answer your questions. So I will be looking for your questions in the chat. Please drop them in there. I will get to them, but chances are many of you wonderful people, your colleagues, people who have been doing this for a long time, will also have a great answer. And so even if I'm on the floor having a coughing fit, you will still get a wonderful answer by members in the chat here. So in the contract, you will want to have stipulations about what happens when and I'm gonna get the mute button ready here so that when I feel a cough coming on, I can mute and unmute really quick. We're gonna test my dexterity with that. Scott says, "Bring up the question." All right, sir. Scott's question basically is the question, and then we'll talk about the contingencies and more background. Scott is wondering if anybody in the Unboring wedding community operates in or out of or services Northwest Washington. And Scott, you can put more details there in the chat if you'd like. I know you don't want to divulge personal information on YouTube, like your email address, so don't do that. But if you are in Northwestern Washington and you could possibly fill in for Scott, then Scott would love to hear from you. So just shoot me an email, mark at unboringweddingacademy.com. I will put you in touch with Scott. And as I said, this is something that from the earliest time of myself officiating, I always made sure to have a colleague who could back up for me on in the unlikely event, that's what my contract says, that I could not make it on the day. Now, what does the contract look like in such a case? I'm happy to share that with you. For me, I started out, a lot of you know my early days. I started out as an officiant, as an actual minister of a church. So, it kind of comes with the territory. I didn't love doing it. It's when I became a professional, started working with a company called Young, Hip, and Married, started honing my skills, having a lot of fun with it, seeing it as more like a business where I can make money. And then, of course, I stopped being a minister. I just decided that's not for me. After 3 years of full time and then 2 years of part time, I just decided, you know what, that's not it's not kind of filling my bucket. However, I had quite a network of ministerial colleagues who were happy to fill in it. And so when you ask somebody if, let me back up. So if you have not done this yet, if you have not networked in your area, if you have not put out the feelers to other wedding officiants around you, if for no other reason, like I said, you should be doing should. I don't like the word should. It is best to do this just because you are in the industry anyway. So, we talk here about networking with colleagues, with wedding planners, with photographers, with venue owners. You want to be doing that anyway. You always want to be, and it doesn't matter how many years you've been doing this, you always want to be reaching out to these colleagues, and either if you haven't worked with them at a wedding or maybe you have, drop in on a venue, try to get some brief one-on-one time with them. Maybe you strike up a conversation with them or a relationship because you've worked several weddings, you exchange business cards, you follow each other on social, you drop each other friendly messages. That's great. Don't forget, though, officiants, to do that with other officiants as well. Don't overlook that. Because then you can start referring to each other. Now, of course, you want to be selective, especially if you're an unboring wedding officiant. We're not snobs, but what I'm saying is there is a level of performance, of excellence, of elite service, a style. A lot of people say to me, they reach out, Mark, you're booked on the day. Who else does it like you? Now, unfortunately, in New Brunswick, because you have to be a lawyer or a minister, you can't just kind of get ordained online, US style, and officiate a wedding. It's quite difficult to be an officiant in Canada and Canadian provinces. And so I have to tell them, unfortunately, I don't know anybody who does it exactly like I do. However, I do recommend officiants when I am booked up. And I would only do that with officiants who I trust are in great hands. So to Scott's point, if there is somebody who you know is trained, a trained unboring wedding officiant in this same style and system, then you know that they are going to be in great hands in terms of the ceremony itself. But even if somebody is different, doesn't follow that exact style and system that you would follow, the same questions, the story writing style, the storytelling style, you still want to be able to have a few references, a few folks that you can recommend other couples to who you know just treat customers really well, who you know will give them the best professional care and show them a great ceremony. So it is okay to say, as I do, no one quite does it like me. There's no one in New Brunswick who has taken my course and followed my system. And that's a whole other conversation that we could have. Is I've never been interested in starting an officiating company. That's a whole. We talked about this last year. I have reasons for that. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, unless you specifically ask. But I'm not interested in starting a company, or I didn't enjoy working for a company. But that's okay, because you just want to say, hey, here are some people who I know will take great care of you when you're booked. So this is not even a I'm sick, I can't do anything, I need to cancel at the last minute, it's an emergency, I need somebody to fill in. That might happen. That has never happened to me. But I am very interested in, let me do the quick mute. I'm very interested in being able to refer people out, even when I'm booked, refer other officiants. Okay. And some people say, oh, should I get a cut of that? I've never done that either. Don't, just spread the positive regard, spread the joy, spread the love. If you're booked and somebody reaches out, you say, I'm sorry I'm booked. You can make it part of your template. I'm sorry I'm booked, but please check out the following officiants. Ask them. They're amazing. I trust them. Now, if you don't have that yet, start today. Reach out, Google some people, look at some reviews, um, and start to just reach out. Say, hey there, I'm so and so, a fellow officiant in your area. Love to grab a quick coffee. Maybe we can jump on the phone. I would love somebody, just imagine if you got this phone call, maybe it's happened to you. I would love to have an officiant to refer to if I'm booked. Now, that's how you want to approach somebody. Then you you don't want to spring this on them. Hi there, stranger. If I'm ever sick, can you please take a wedding? Now, you can do that. You can, if you're in a real pinch and you want to help your couple out, you might want to take that on to yourself. I would say you don't have to. And this is where it's spelled out in my contract. I don't have to find a replacement. Again, I've never, ever in all my 10 plus years of officiating, like as a professional unboring wedding, I started it in 2017, worked for the company, et cetera, et cetera. I've never, ever had to get a last minute fill in for feeling unwell. I have officiated some weddings really hopped up on Advil and Tylenol just to get through. The great thing about being an officiant is it's short. It's not, you just have to like have your game for like an hour, even if you're feeling absolutely the pits. Of course, if you are coughing or visibly sick, sniffling and all that, don't do that to your couple. So I'm not suggesting you tough it out. I'm talking about, like, sometimes if you have the aches or whatever and you're not feeling all that great, there is that viral video of the officiant who vomited right in the middle of the ceremony, just turned her head and vomits. Now, you these are you so don't push it that far, okay? But get on your computer today, get on your phone, Google some officiants in your area and ask them if you can meet up, especially if they've got good reviews. Say, it looks like you got great reviews. I'm always interested in networking and collaborating with fellow officiants in the area. I'm wondering if you want to grab a drink. I'd love to get to know you more. And most importantly, I'd love to book you. I'd love to refer you if I'm booked. Then you get to know them, and then you can say, hey there, you know what? This is going so well. I'd really, really love to. Would you be open to getting a call from me like 11th hour? Hey there, I can't, I can't do the wedding. Now, when that happens, and this is spelled out in my contract, and this is what I recommend to you, I would refund the couple all of the money. So you know how I talk about the first 50% of their payment. So again, I charge $1,000. So the first $500 is a booking retainer. And that's how I explain it to the couple. It does go toward the wedding day, but what you're paying for is the retainer fee. It's for the real estate on the calendar. And the second half is refundable in the sense that if you cancel 7 days before the wedding, it frees up my Saturday, it frees up my space. I keep the retainer, but if you've paid the second half and you cancel on me 7 days or earlier before the wedding, I will refund you that money. I know, you might think as an officiant, well, you've done some work. Yes, you've had the workshop, you've done some work, etc. But for me, like I said, it frees up my Saturday. And I just feel like for me, 7 days is enough of a buffer to cancel. And I'm happy to give half of the fee back. Now, I don't start writing the ceremony until the story, until the week of the ceremony. And that is partially because of that structure of the contract. I don't want to spend all this time writing their story. Again, Efficiently and the Love Story Caster make it infinitely easier now. But if I've got a wedding on a Saturday, I will. Monday is when I'll fire up my computer, check out their responses, make sure their friends and family have responded. I will, spin up the Love Story Caster, click generate. You do this in Efficiently, have the love story generated, start, punching it up, tweaking it. I always massage it for about 10 or 15 minutes. It's a process that used to take 3 hours. Now it just takes literally 15 minutes or so for me to restructure some things, change some of the emphases, etc. Make it my own. And so if they cancel 7 days before, I haven't really written their story yet. So essentially, I've gotten $500. I've gotten half my fee for reserving the date on the calendar, having a wedding workshop with them, and writing their script and shooting that off to them. I think $500. I think half the fee is actually pretty good for that level of work. And then it means they've canceled on me with enough time for me to plan other things for the next Saturday, maybe even take another wedding. that's pretty last minute. But so I know a lot of you do signings, elopements, things like that. It means you don't have to iron your suit. It means you don't have to put your pants on and go to an event or drive or whatever. So like I said, for me, having the wedding workshop and writing the script, especially with how easy Efficiently makes that is no problem. It's an easy, I'll take it. If they cancel after 7 days, then they do not get any sort of refund. That's the contract. You can't cancel on me 3 days, 4 days, 5 days before the wedding and expect some money back. The ship has sailed. It's likely I've already ironed my pants. I've written the love story, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So you might play with your date a little bit differently, 14 days before, 7 days before, whatever it is for you. But think about your process. Think about that. If you're like, well, I like to get the love story written 2 weeks before the ceremony. Well, then you probably want to move your, non-refundable drop date a little bit earlier. Give yourself a little bit more of a cushion, ask for their, you get the retainer, but ask for that second 50% balance 3 weeks before, then you'll feel like, okay, you're not going to do any work for nothing. Now, you have that set down, but I do say in my contract, if I cancel on you for any reason, then you get all of the money back. So this is really great for the client because they know, once they lock me in, non-refundable, then they have up to 7 days before to cancel and get some money back. But if I cancel on them, I give them a 100% refund. Again, I've never had to do it, thankfully, and I'm knocking on all the wood around. Like I say, I've officiated feeling under the weather sometimes, never visibly, never threateningly. But that is really important for the couple to know. Now, if I were really feeling crummy, the pits, and Scott kind of said this, what if I get sick? It's this Saturday, today's Thursday. This is where you would already be wanting to reach out. If I'm feeling sick on Thursday night, Friday morning, I'm reaching out to my officiant colleagues, the ones who I know could step in. Now, here's the thing. You 100% refund your couple, and you can tell the officiant when you call them up on the Friday and say, I'm not feeling all that great. By now, though, you have likely completely written the entire ceremony, including the love story. By Thursday or Friday, hopefully you've done that. So this makes it a lot easier for an officiant to step in. Now, what would you do if you found a replacement for your couple? Well, you'd want to phone them up and say to them, listen, I can't officiate your wedding. Of course, they're going to be devastated because they handpicked you. So this is where you could give them an option. If it's Friday, say, look, I'm just too under the weather. Saturday morning, we've got some decisions to make. I can 100% refund you, and you can get a family or friend to do it, whatever you'd like. Or I can keep half the fee, I'll refund you the other half, and I will give you the entire ceremony. It's all written. All you need to do is find somebody to read it. And this is again where a lot of you say, oh, well, it's proprietary. I don't want to give the script away to some Yahoo who will steal it. I've never had a problem with that. And I just keep saying this over and over because the unique part of a wedding ceremony is the love story. Every couple is going to do that differently. You're going to engage the guests. You're going to show them a great time. You're going to tell the couple's unique, amazing love story, what they love about each other, what everybody loves about them. And so the other parts, the other elements, my style, opening remarks, or the way that I say the elements, or my reflection at the end that I say just about every time, I really don't mind handing that over. Again, this is going to be something you negotiate with your couple for sure. You can just give them that option. They'll say, your ceremony is done. And so you can go and find your own officiant right now. I'm so sorry. You'll get 100% of your money back. And, they'll be bummed out, but they get 100% of their money back. But then you could also say, look, I've got the ceremony ready to hand over to somebody. And essentially for half price, you can have it, and that person can step in. Now, you also, a third option now, as we've been discussing, is you can say, I'm going to keep all the fee, and I've got an amazing person who will step in and do it exactly like I would. So that's a third option. You can spell this all out in your contract if you want. Like I say, I don't really think that's the best idea. I think it's just good for your couple to know that if you can't do it, they get 100% of the feedback. That makes them feel like, oh, great. Well, we get a full refund. And this is where you want to put limited liability in there as well and say, you can't sue me or come after me for more money than you paid. So 100% refund is fantastic for the couple. It will put them in a bit of a lurch to find an officiant in a few hours. But in terms of, you're going to feel bad. They're not going to be happy. But you couldn't do it. You refunded them. You were hired for that fee. They got it back, etc. But then on the phone with them, this is where you could say, now let's talk about how the ways that I can help you. Ceremony's done. I have somebody who can step in. I'll keep your fee. I'll work it out with the officiant. So in that case, if you have somebody who you have agreed, a colleague of yours, to come on and cover for you, I think the best idea is to give them half the fee. So again, if the couple paid me $1,000, I did all the meetings, I did all the writing, I did everything. The only thing is Saturday, I can't make it because I'm in bed. In this case, you would keep half the fee for all the work you did. Sorry. And then you would give your colleague half the fee, essentially to just show up, to get the script on the Friday. I was doing so well there. Get the script on the Friday, review it a couple times, but it is done top to bottom. They might want to run the rehearsal. I don't know if they would have to. Again, this is part of your couple, part of the negotiation of that. And then they would just kind of show up on the wedding day and read it. Now, I wonder if some of you are commenting in the chat about some of the complications around this, but this to me is your options. And like I say, in the contract, just say, if I can't make it, 100% refund. All that to say, that was a very long way of saying Scott is wondering if anyone services Northwest Washington State that could become his new booking buddy, somebody who could fill in for him, maybe vice versa. He's specifically looking for somebody who's been trained in unboring wedding, because at this late date, who else can you really trust, right? Other than that, you have to do the whole look, I got to refund you. I'm so sorry. Hopefully, you can find a friend or relative. If you let me keep half the fee, I will hand over the entire script to them. That's just something you might want to negotiate with your couple. So there you go. I need backup support in the Bellingham, Washington, and surrounding area. Would love to hear from anybody. Again, Scott, please don't post your personal information. I'm happy to become a conduit. Mark at unboringweddingacademy.com. Just reach out to me if you can help Scott. Now, Sabrina, who's very experienced and total pro, member of the course, says I've organized a consortium, if you will, of 3 other officiants in San Antonio. I love it. Music to my ears. 2 others are members here, Nina and Letitia. Amazing. Like it that's the only way that this could have been better, is that you have people who literally understand our style, our method, this system. They're kind of trained in the delivery. They know how to engage the guests in those 5 key moments. They know how to tell the story. That's fantastic. Another is a Spanish speaking. That's fantastic. Our meeting for lunch this Sunday. Okay, you and your other not yet a member. Okay, well, you got to work on that. Okay, so feel free to email me if you can help Scott out. One of those things where I want to like check my email already. No emails yet, Scott. Sorry. But I know Ralph and Karen are in Washington. Washington's a huge state, so they're in Spokane, probably not near Bellingham. This is like when somebody, oh, you're from Canada? Do you know my friend so and so? She's Canadian. 35 million of us. It's big. So I don't want to telecast my my ignorance here. But hopefully you can find somebody. Question from Mark. Did you put the Love Story caster on steroids? Give it genius injections. A couple gave me small responses. It wrote a brilliant, expansive script with no hallucinations. A couple was blown away. Mark, I will say thank you for that glowing review. I absolutely did update the Love Story caster, which is inside Officiantly, just about a month ago. So, we use GPT, not ChatGPT. We use the GPT AI, OpenAI's API. And, recently the language models are always changing. So if you go to ChatGPT, you log in, you see 5.0, 5.1, 5.2. It's always getting better. This is where some folks I know are still using the Love Story caster, the OG, the original, which I'm extremely proud of because it was the first stepping stone on the journey of this amazing software. But I haven't updated it. I'm sure it's using like 3 point something still. And I know Ben Height reached out to me. He was like, what's going on with the old Love Story caster? It feels very like C Spot Run, Jane Run, and by comparison. And I said, absolutely. So I sat down and basically wrote, and Wedding MBA, this was my talk. I wrote a recipe, and it cooks, as the kids say. It's so much better now, especially with, I think we're using 5.0 now. If you go to ChatGPT, it's 5.2, so it's always changing. But like you say, the no hallucinations. It's tough when your couple gives you almost nothing. And the Love Story caster has in the past said, oh, I need to fill this space, because part of the recipe is saying, write something around 1,000 words. And so that's, free for you to know. 900 to 1,200 words, I typically tell it. And if you put almost nothing in there, then it feels like, oh gosh, I've got to write a speech worth, that'll give 5 minutes of material or so. I haven't loved that. And people have different, this is where GPT, right? It's a black box. I talked about this before. Even when you're using, if you're in Efficiently and you're using the AI for the ceremony script draft part, we use GPT in there too. And if you say like, write me a hand fasting ceremony, or write me a cool intro to, the moment I step up there, you have no idea what's going to come out. I have no idea what's going to come out. It's all the AIs, Gemini and Claude, and they're black boxes. So all you can do is integrate them into any existing software, implement that, but you still have no control over the outcome. So yes, thank you for saying that. I didn't put it on steroids. All we did was I gave it a massive recipe update through trial and error. Again, I just kind of got into the API and would write a command, see what happens, change the command, add something, take it away. It took I've talked about how the original Love Story Caster took like 100 hours. I didn't nearly spend this much time because now you can ask it. Another thing that I put in is old stories as I wrote them and as I tweaked them, and said, how would you, based on if a couple gave me this answer, these answers, and this is what I wrote, this is the final version, how did I get there? And it's so interesting to watch the AI say, oh, so you got these answers from Marier A, these answers from Marier B. This is what you wrote. Here's your style. Here's what you like to do. Here's what you included. Here's what you didn't include. Here's your tone. Here's your, so, you can ask it to analyze it. So I did some of that behind the scenes, and the Love Story Cat, I couldn't be happier with it now. It was degenerating as the language model evolved and got better. And so, that's what's going to happen is if you have the same recipe, but you completely change the oven ingredients. In this analogy, what would I say? Then you're going to get a different result. So I needed to update the recipe to keep up with the language model, and it is cooking. I agree. Yeah, so this is the one in Efficiently, of course. I know you're not talking about the Love Story Caster, kind of the original one where you would manually paste in the answers, because that one's not going to be good anymore, friends. I know some of you are still using it. I'm not sure why. If you have Efficiently Unlimited, you could even like skip all the other parts of the dashboard. I'll just show you what I mean. You could. I was in here because I wanted to show you something else, but this is a ceremony, say Casey and Jordan. You could skip the wedding workshop stuff, and you could skip the ceremony script draft. All you could just create a ceremony, say in this case for Casey and Jordan, send them the questionnaire, invite the couple, boom, one click. You see here how we have added the Marrier details pop up now. That's brand new. Today I had a call with the developers, and we are doing 10 more updates to Efficiently, believe it or not. And this is one of them. Like literally, I see that Robert, the head developer, integrated this over the last couple of hours. So I'm just as surprised to see invite the couple. You used to get a pop-up that would just say, do you want to send it now? Well, now you can confirm their emails again. So then you could just fire that off to them. Their answers will land in here. You could view them. And then you could just go right into the Love Story Caster and see their answers there. There's nothing you have to do. The Efficiently puts them in there already. And just cast the story. Boom, generate the story. Right here, you click and regenerate the story if you want to do it again. And that's all you'd have to do. You could skip everything else, the way it drops it into the story, the speech storyboard here, work on it. You can use Efficiently however you would like. Maybe you'll use it for some full ceremonies, and you'll only use the Love Story Caster for certain other ones. It's totally up to you. Every time you create a new ceremony, you can use it however you prefer. Mark says, I do skip all the other stuff. Okay, my feelings are a little hurt now because of the ritual heavy structure of my wedding ceremonies. So, Mark, I see that you just haven't taken advantage of the template feature yet, but you can write as many templates as you want. And I know I was here a couple weeks ago live on Thursday, so you know what I'm saying. You could have ritual heavy, you can have entire song lyrics. You can create a template, and then when you make it for a couple, you just say, Jacob and Rebecca, this is their wedding, click, and you choose the template. Ritual heavy, lots of sing, whatever it is. So that is not a limitation of Efficiently at all. I just have to say that as someone who loves Efficiently and wants everybody to use it, it's up to you how you use it, but what you're describing is not by any means a limitation. But you love the love story as the rock of Jack, the book of Jack and Jill. Okay, you do love the love story as the book of Jack and Jill in the separate ketubah signing ceremony. That's amazing, and you could have a template with separate ketubahs and all that stuff. Scott says, Mark, do these upgrades flow through automatically of those with Officially Unlimited? Yes, absolutely. Anytime we do a system update, you immediately get it. So you'll all see that now. When you click invite the couple, you'll get that pop up. There's a few things like, does the dress need to be arranged? That was appearing too high. And in fact, some of the drag and drop wasn't as easy as I'd like when you're arranging, the entrance of friends or family. I'll just show you what I mean. And I don't intend this to become a tutorial by any means, but I just get so excited by what Officiantly can do. When you're in the wedding workshop with the couple and you are going through entrances, I found here that grabbing people and moving them around was a bit difficult because the horizontal lines are so much smaller than the grid here, and we want to change that. This is not a good ceremony as to use as an example because there aren't a lot of people, but in ceremonies where you have a lot of friends and relatives, this is a wedding that I already officiated. You can see here they had a lot of people here, and I find it challenging. Maybe it's because I use a Mac trackpad, but it's easy to grab. It's very easy to grab and group Jordan in like this, but it's more difficult to grab those horizontal lines. Although I'm doing it well now. Anyway, this is the level of detail that today I was saying, can we make this 50-50? Can we make this a bit easier to drag and drop? It's little things like that. And my point of saying that is the second that we update that, if you're in Officiantly Unlimited, that's $179 a year, unlimited ceremony, so that like Mark, you can just create as many ceremonies as you want, not have to worry about it. They're all in the system. Then you will see these updates right away. Okay. Yeah, I know the template thing. You're right. It's labor intensive at first, but check my YouTube channel. The first couple of videos, I think video 2 is all about the template. So yes, you do sit there and you change it out, but then you think about it. You only have to ever do that once. And to me, that massively beats any kind of future copying and pasting, putting their names in. You only ever have to make a template. And again, you can make 25 templates. You can make 100 templates if you want, and then just choose in a drop down whenever you are creating a new ceremony, which one you'd like. Could you put the link to the Thursday YouTube presentation where you talked about template creation? I could. It's on my channel. It's in the videos. And are you seeing this in real time? Let me just, you know what? Why not? Why not? Because we're hanging out. This doesn't make for great television, as they say. It's not in the live. So if you go to my channel and click the video tab, it is in the right here. I am going to just paste it right in now so you can check out the template tutorials. Okay, the other thing, and while I'm here, I had somebody, I think this is the only other thing I'm going to get to talking about today, is I had somebody in our group ask a really great question, and it doesn't happen a lot anymore. But she said, I have a couple here who met on an app, but they don't want anybody to know it was an app. How do I tell their love story? Do I just skip the part where they met to hide the secret or keep it discreet? To which I say, there's absolutely no need to skip that part. It is 100% possible to tell the story of two people meeting without being deceptive, without changing any of the facts, and without saying that they met on an app. And the secret is really just the way that you talk about two specific things, and it's the way that you word it. Okay. But I've got a question here from Eva. Do you have a template with images where I can insert the names of ceremony participants? Do you have a template with images where I can insert the names of ceremony participants? So this is, you're describing the wedding workshop where you, I'm not sure what you mean by a template with images. I think you want to watch the video, the tutorial that I just linked. Again, go to my channel, and I am systematically rolling out, a little bit delayed over the holidays here because of sickness and stuff, but I've got 5 up now, and they're intended to be a very concise, focused tutorial of how to use Officiantly. You'll create a template. When you do the wedding workshop and you're entering all the names of your couple and all their party and everything, that is going to go in. That goes into placeholders, okay? And so again, watch the live from 2 weeks ago today, right before Black Friday. 3 weeks ago? Wow, time flies. 3 weeks ago today, or go into my channel, click videos, and you can watch the tutorials. Okay. Um, trust me, I'm going to pound that template feature. Yeah, it's very busy. I understand it's time consuming, but absolutely. Now, back to the two ways to phrase how you are going to talk about a couple meeting on an app. All you have to do is talk about, and you're going to tell it in present tense. So that's why I'm going to switch the way I'm talking. But you would say this love story begins when Jack and Jill encounter each other. Actually, I like to say this love story begins the way all the great love stories begin. And of course, if it's an app, you would say with a swipe right, or the way all the greatest 21st century love stories begin with a swipe or something. It always gets a chuckle. Of course, if the couple don't want that divulged, you would say something else. It begins the way all great love stories begin when boy meets girl, and you could just gloss over like that. When boy meets girl, and when he sees her for the very first time, he thinks, what a knockout. He cannot tear his eyes away. Now, at any point there, would you have thought that that was on a screen? No. Does that detail matter? Not at all. Same thing. And when she sees him, this could be in a classroom, this could be at work, this could be at a park, the grocery store. It doesn't matter. You don't have to say, you're just avoiding saying where the place was. They saw each other for the first time. Yes, it was just a photo. And again, you're not lying at any point. It's just you are omitting certain details that would say that it's an app. But he saw her, she saw him. So you need to just massage the way that they saw each other and what they thought when they saw each other. Okay, so that's the first tip. He sees her and he thinks, oh my gosh, she's out of my league. She sees him and she thinks, my goodness, this guy, this is somebody I gotta get to know. She's electrified by it. Okay, so if your couple don't, maybe they answer their questions and they say we met on an app. Don't say we met on an app. You might need to follow up with them and say, okay, but can you tell me, what did you think when you saw each other's photos? And I'm going to talk about what it's like when you saw each other. And what did you think when you saw each other? And it might be something funny, like she saw him and thought, he's okay. I wonder if he's got a personality. I can think of all the things that are going to happen in this setup that could happen with a couple that's like, maybe they're head over heels. Maybe they're like, no, they're fine. Or, wow, she saw him and thought, not my type at all. Obviously, they're getting married. So those things are absolutely hilarious when they happen. People laugh really hard when one kind of wasn't into the other. This happened. My wife and I met in high school over, 30 years ago? Oh my gosh. And she didn't think much of me when she first saw me the first. And I don't blame her. I was, as an 18-year-old, there was there was a lot of weirdness going on. And so, if that were told at our wedding ceremony, it would be absolutely hilarious. So what they saw and what they thought when they saw each other, photos, but you're not saying the photo part, right? You're not saying the profile part. And then again, from either the profile description, because couples write a lot. I like fishing, I like sports, I like books and traveling. This is what they are, and this is one of my love story secrets. Like when you talk about the programming the love story caster, or even in the course, I give you a 10-point checklist rubric that quite wonderfully. I spoke on this at Wedding MBA a few years ago, and Brian came up to me this year and said, I still use that. He's not a member of Academy as far as I know, but he said, I still use that 10-point checklist from all those years ago. It was 8 points then, I've added 2. This is part of it. One of the things is talk about what the couple are learning. They learn things about each other in their first impressions. They learn things about each other on the first date. When they are in the proposal craziness, they might learn. He learns that she is kind of a basket case when whatever it is, and she learns that he's pretty stressed out when they're traveling. But again, he might be stressed out because he's proposing, but she thinks it's because of, what is he, scared of planes or something? There's a lot of fun to be had when you just say he learns, or she's starting to think that. Okay. And so it's similar when they're looking at dating profiles. You don't have to say his dating profile said blah, blah. Say she sees him. She thinks, wow, this guy is an absolute stunner. I got to know more. as she gets to know him, that is your key phrase. As she gets to know him, it's on a dating profile. It's an app, but it doesn't matter. She's getting to know him through the profile. And then, of course, one is going to ask the other. They're going to make first contact. Same thing. They'll do it through the app, through messaging. That's okay. He asks for her number. A lot of time, that's what happens on a dating app. I've never used one because I'm a dinosaur, 20 years married, but I have it on authority from all the hundreds and hundreds of love stories I've told. One usually says, let's take it off the app. Give me your number. So you don't have to say on the app, just say it. Finally, she asked him for his number so they could talk one-on-one. They do that, and then one asks the other out. It's completely possible. I've done it many times, especially like 10 years ago when people didn't really like to divulge that they met on Tinder because people wonder about what were their motives and what were they doing on a dating app. Now it's completely normal. However, it seems like there's still couples who don't want that information to get out, don't necessarily want it to be a part of their love story. So that is how you do it. What they saw, what they thought when they saw each other, and then as they got to know each other, this, that, or the other. And that's how you phrase it. You just want to be careful how you phrase it. And then somebody asks for a number. And I've just told you a story of Jack and Jill, and at no point did you think about whether or not it was an app. It's just that I wasn't saying it was at the grocery store or they were walking down the beach talking. And you don't need any of those details until they get on the first date. Then it's good to get really concrete. Okay. Does that make sense? Mark, you're making me blush a little bit here. I'm starting to think you might get brilliant. Every year you refine this program. I mean, when you spend this much time on something, how can you not? I'm eating, breathing, sleeping this all the time, going live with you, creating this program, etc., etc. It's what I do. It's what I love to do, and so I can't help it. So we are just minutes away. I didn't actually get. I got a couple of questions in the chat, but if I missed anything, please let me know. Specifically, did I miss any? I mean, this is amazing. Mark's saying, "I can't believe I didn't have to change a single word this time." Yeah, that blows me away. I love that. I know that some of us are very fussy using the love story caster. Like, we kind of connoisseurs of storytelling. That speaks to how tweaked my recipe is. And as I just showed you in efficiently here, that is all you have to do, really. When you I know this is top secret, maybe we don't want our couples to know this, but this is not just AI. You're not using AI to write the couple's love story, friends. What you're doing is you are using the recipe that, as I said, took me 100 hours to develop the first time, years and years, of course. This is all the components that I would teach you and do teach you in Unboring Wedding Academy, because you still want to run it through that 10-point rubric. But once you get to this point, efficiently pastes your couple's answers in here, just so you can, I talk about this in the tutorial, so that you can, if date ends up here, and you should have separated them out a little bit more. You want to make sure that the fields, the first is how they met, the second is first date, and the third is proposal. So you might want to just make sure that they are in the fields. That the output of the caster is very important in terms of that. Then all you have to do is go to Love Story Caster and generate the story. That's it. Now, you probably noticed, Mark, that it does take longer now. This love story has been already done, but I'm just gonna click regenerate story here and show you in real time. It's writing Act 1. This used to be a lot faster, but the output, as I said, is so much better now that you might want to go and start the kettle. and I'm going to prove the point here in our last 2 minutes. Just show you what it's like to just wait for this thing. But it is, I mean, when you think about how in about 3 minutes, and then you get an email saying it's done. So, you can go for a walk. Again, it's going to be 3 minutes max, likely. Then you will get an email saying the story is ready, and you can just click through your email and take a look at the story. Like I said, this used to take a minute. and the output was not that great. Now it takes 2 or 3. I shouldn't say it was amazing at its time. It blew people away. But now it's even better. It takes a bit longer. I was trying to think of anything else that I could share just before we head off, but I think that's it. I will tell you. Oh, there we go. Act 2 is done. It is moving. I will tell you, it is time to sign off here. Although I'm going to read you the first little bit of the output of this story, especially because I've already told this love story, and now this is a couple getting a second crack at it. Mark says it did take longer, totally worth the wait. Yeah. Uh, don't worry. Don't worry that your internet pooped out. Like I said, it's happening anyway. So once you click that, you can just, like I say, go for a walk, and you'll be told that it's done. But we are going to head out to the holidays here. Next week is Christmas Eve, so I will not be going live next week. And the week after that, of course, is New Year's Eve, so I won't be here on New Year's Eve, but we will be here for, I think it's nice that in 2025 we did a nice tight 10 episodes. It's been a great experience. I love doing weekly wedding prep live with you. I know weddings are typically not banging. They're not doing too much over the next couple of weeks, although some of you do have those incredible holiday ceremonies. But we will be gearing up in the new year, and that's kind of when the booking avalanche starts, right? That is when people are getting engaged over the Christmas break. And as officiants, we are ready for the tsunami of people reaching out, finding their officiants. So I do want to share with you next time some really good data from the wedding report about looking ahead, trends in 2026. That's a bit of a teaser for what's coming up. And how wedding officiants, especially unboring wedding officiants, are so perfectly poised to take advantage of a wedding market where there are less weddings. We talked about this last a couple weeks ago, but the spending is up for emotional experiences. I mean, friends, as officiants, we are so poised to do it. Now, you just said office hours. Oh, office hours. I think what we're going to do, Sabrina, is move office hours to that first week of January again, because I am just concerned that people are traveling and won't get the biggest turnout. And I really want to start the year with you. And so, we can even have a couple of office hours in January. So, because of that, because like I said, I don't think people are going to be in the space of jumping on live, and I really would like to get a good contingent. Let's push our office hours where we're all on camera, Zoom stuff. Maybe it'll be Zoom this time if I get an account. We always use Google Meet or something, and we'll push it to the first week of January, so we can kick off the year together. And so here we go. The spending is up for therapy. Is that what I said? Spending is up for ceremonies. You can see here that the love story caster result is finished. This love story begins the way all the great romances begin, with a sister's suggestion from nursing school. That's very so. Obviously, I program it to say this love story begins the way all the great romances begin, and then I tell it to scan out the story and choose kind of an unusual hook twist way to make a joke. And so with a sister's suggestion from nursing school, that's interesting. You might want to change it. You might want to say the way all great romances begin at nursing school, which would be fine. It starts there in the practical world where schedules and assignments live, with Dylan's sister, Julie, talking about her instructor. Julie says this instructor, Megan, is sharp and kind and all the things you'd hope for in a person guiding you through a nursing program. And this would be great because Megan is there, right? Megan is probably going to be at the wedding. Then Julie adds the part that sticks. Megan has a younger sister named Mariah, single, seems like a very nice girl. You can see how this goes. Julie mentions it to Dylan. She doesn't oversell it. Dylan, sorry. She just lays it out the way sisters do, and they're pretty sure they're right. Dylan hears it, and that little bell rings. Not loud, not dramatic, just enough. He's especially interested, given that Julie doesn't hand out recommendations like coupons. Okay, so again, this style, this tone, everything that it's doing has been hand tweaked by me for hours and hours. So I do accept responsibility when it's a little weird. Again, AI can be wonky, but what you want to do is give it guidance into how to write the story well. That's what we've done. And this is an example of, see the length? This would take about 8 to 10 minutes. And that's another thing, is it does it really well. That's probably why it takes a little bit of time. It writes the story, and then of course it has to make it fit into, it can't be a 15-minute story. You want more than 3 minutes. So it does it really well in terms of length as well. All right, friends. There's always so much to talk about, and that's why I look forward to another 10 episodes at least with you starting in the new year. Feliz Navidad to you as well. And like I said, we're going to take a couple weeks off now and come in strong in the new year. So happy holidays to all of you. Those of you who are officiating weddings, have a wonderful time. If you want to become a member, it is time. Unboringweddingacademy.com. If you want to get the pro course, unboringweddingacademy.com/pro. That teaches you all the best practices of how to run an officiant business, get booked, networks, clients, all the things that we hint on. It's about 8 to 10 hours with assessments and quizzes for you. And then when you have both courses, we certify you. Unboringwedding.com/certified. You can see all the other amazing officiants who are on that page. We give you badges. We recommend you to the world because you are trained. And if you want to grab Efficiently, officiant.ly, grab your annual subscription for unlimited ceremonies. You see all the amazing things it does. And for those of you who have it, 10 more updates coming up soon. It is going to be absolutely fun. Nothing major because Efficiently works really well, but we're always improving those little things for the best user experience. So officiants like us can work more with couples, take on more things, and not have to get bogged down in all the admin stuff. That's what I've been dreaming of for years. It's finally happening with Efficiently. Smoosh the like button. Thank you very much. Merry Xmas to you too. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah. All the things. And I look forward to spending time with you again in the new year. Thanks for being here live. You guys make this everything that it is. I absolutely love this. And until next year, and from now to then, marry on, friends. Have a great year. Have a great holiday. See you in 2026.